Yes, sir. Welcome to the Three Ring Circus that we like to call Later with Leon. I'm your host, the Destin legend, Leon Rogers. And today, and this is no joke. I'm not blowing smoke, but this might be the most talented show I've had on today. And we've had on some dope people, but these three cats I got on today, man, they might be the Avengers. I don't know who's going to be Captain America, who's going to be Fat Thor. We'll figure that out once we bring them to the stage. First up, man, this brother is a mogul. He's doing big things. He's a writer, producer. He's a comedian. He's got his own damn network. Y'all give it up for my man Kev on stage in the building. What's up, Kev?
What up? What up? Later with Leon. How y'all feel today?
Yeah. And next up, man, my dog, who I feel is not appreciated enough in this game, man. A brilliant writer. I love the stuff he do on the NFL stations. I love his correspondence work with my man Trevor Noah. Y'all give it up for Roy Wood Jr. in the building. What up, Roy?
Yeah, man.
That's that.
How you doing, brother?
The Alabama brothers. You Roll Tide or War Eagle?
Man, neither one, man. I lay low. I say UAB Blazers. I come in peace.
I know you Rattler Strike though, so we gonna.
Oh yeah, we fam you all day. I paid too many out of state fees to not rep that now.
And last but not least, man, one of the dopest impressionists of our time, man. This brother turns it on and off. He's got a bunch of voices inside his head, and he's also a very talented actor, Mr. Affion Crockett in the building. What's going up, man?
I know you. You gonna mess my name up?
I'm sorry, Affion. I'm sorry, man. It's the bourbon.
You on it, Leon? Okay.
It's the bourbon.
Right. Okay, Lion.
Lion. That's Jamaican. It sounds like you're giving me props, man. Lion.
Hey, he said your name like you were a French liquor. Affion.
You know what? You know what that comes from? So wait, real talk. I used to be an ambassador for Avion Tequila, and it hits like that in the mind.
Avion.
Avion, right? They ain't no more though, so scratch that. I ain't endorsing them no more. But I don't give them no free plug. But how y'all fellas doing, man? Everybody cool?
Chilling, bro.
Good, man. I'm vaccinated up.
You're all vaccinated out, bro?
I might go and get me another vaccine. I might go back.
Which one did you take?
I don't know. Like, y'all be asking which vaccine, like y'all really know which one.
Moderna or Pfizer?
There ain't no Gucci vaccine. It's the vaccine. Just go get your shot in the arm. Oh, I don't want that vaccine. I heard some things. What you heard? Everybody, Corona that made everybody a medical CDC specialist. You ain't no specialist.
I heard, Roy, it's Tuskegee. That's what I heard. I don't need
right. There it is. I'm with.
I don't need it. I heard Tuskegee happen. That's what the hell I heard.
Okay, but then let me get your vaccine. Let me get your card.
Yo, so but do you think like,
my passport, I still travel.
And we laughing and joking about it, but some people that don't want to take, like anti-vaxxers that are not going to want to take the vaccine, do you think when it inhibits them from traveling and maybe even working? Because some companies might say, we don't want you back in the building unless you had a vaccine, or you can't travel unless you got the vaccine. Are they going to lightweight force people into taking it?
It's a great question, Leon. I actually talked to a Black doctor about this, and I had that same question. Because this vaccine is approved under emergency use, you cannot force people to take it. So people don't have to worry about that because it's under emergency use. So I think we are all a little nervous. So we like, what they're gonna make me, I got to go to Cabo. They're gonna tell me I can't go. Nobody's saying that. That's not a realistic thing of happening right now.
Right now.
Yeah, but again, you don't need everybody to take it in order for it to be effective. You just need enough people.
Herd immunity.
Either enough people to have had corona and got the antibodies, or taking the vaccine, and the other people, you don't need every single person. No one all takes any vaccine.
True.
Yeah.
True. I say if you mess with hood rats anywhere between 94 and 2000, corona can't touch you no way. Ever.
Oh, well, then I was good. I didn't need to get the vaccine.
If you ever was law with any hood rat, you don't need it. Hey, listen. So, Kev, you're from Texas, man. They do it big down in Texas. When did you get the entertainment bug, man? When did it start for you? And was comedy always the dream and the goal and the passion?
I feel like I was always entertaining people. I don't think I was like, I'm going to be an entertainer. I was doing plays. I remember when I was like, I'm really serious about this. me and my brother did a play in church, like a sketch more about David and Goliath. And I played Goliath, and he threw the fake stone at me, and I hit my knees and I fell face forward to like be dead, and I bust my lip. And people were like, oh man, it's so realistic. And my lip was bleeding, and I was just like, see, you're committed to the arts, kid. You're gonna go far. That didn't really take me anywhere, but I was making sure that I landed. I feel like the moment I was like, dang, comedy is bigger than I realized. It's probably when I saw Kings of Comedy in movie theaters. And I remember watching Bernie Mac's set, and I was just like, man, I don't think I've ever laughed this hard. And I grew up on Def Comedy Jam and Comic View and like all that stuff. But Bernie's set was like, dang, I probably could. I want to make people laugh like he's making me laugh in that moment. So that probably was a moment that I wanted to do stand up, and I've probably been chasing it ever since.
Rest in peace, Bernie Mac, one of the greats, man.
Yeah.
Roy, your dad, great legacy in radio broadcasting, right? Was on air during the civil rights movement. You were born in New York. You grew up in the South. So what type of influence did he have on you as far as you getting in what you do? Because you've done radio as well. You started out radio as well, correct?
Yeah, but my lane was probably a little more similar to yours, and kind of what y'all were doing over at GCI, in Chicago and everything. But my pops started out like in the 50s, bro. Like he was covering the riots in South Africa. He was embedded with black platoons in Vietnam. And then he came back to the States and was like, pretty much any civil rights picture, any march, my daddy like 3 rows back with a tape recorder.
No doubt.
That's pretty much what he was about. My comedy, I try to touch on some of the social stuff that he talks about, but if I can't do it in a funny way, I just don't talk about it. I'm like growing up in Alabama. By the time I was born, like he had already kind of left Chicago and was kind of headed back down south. I would follow him to speaking engagements, and he had radio commentary shows. Like my pops used to talk that talk on the radio on a regular basis. And so, I would go around with him to speaking engagements. He taught Black history at Alabama State. I would be down there on a Saturday in the cut in the back with my little Nintendo Game Boy. And you think you ain't paying attention, but you really are.
Yeah.
You're taking it in. And so, as I got older and I started really looking at the world, I'd say early 30s is probably when because you and me go back.
Yeah.
Comic View.
Yeah.
Way back.
Yeah.
I wasn't talking about what I'm talking about now in 99 and 2000. That stuff wasn't on my heart. But then you get a little older, you have a kid, you go, wait a minute, man, there's some racism.
We still getting messed up out here. It ain't sweet.
You gotta speak on that.
Did you feel any pressure coming up? I mean, seeing as who your dad was, because I found out about your pops really through a legend that we had in Chicago by the name of Herb Kent. And he was saying his name, and Herb Kent was back in that time too, but he was a jock that played Black music on white stations. So like he was groundbreaking, and that's him, Richard Peggy, they were all like old school pioneers, and they would drop the name. And then when I found out that was your dad, I was like, damn, I was hanging around royalty, son. You know what I'm saying? But this dude ain't never really on stage. He's not talking about none of that stuff.
Did you ever talk about that?
Right.
I think that you got to find your own path, your own way. I mean, my pops never pressured me, rest his soul. I think he would be cool with the comedy I'm doing now, but, for sure pressure, because my dad, for that legacy, I mean, you got to remember my pops, when he was at WVON in Chicago, like he was in that first wave of cats. Yep. That was essentially Black CNN. That was Black Twitter. Yep. For his time. My pops hired Don Cornelius.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Like, before Don did any of the Soul Train stuff, my pops was like, you got a smooth voice. Here's my phone number. And Don thought my daddy was trying to hit on him. He's like, no, I'm trying to give you some paper.
Don Cornelius was a police officer.
Gave my daddy a speeding ticket. My daddy gave him his business card. That's real spit.
That's crazy.
So that type of legacy in Birmingham, yeah, you just like the junior, it ain't always the best, which is like real talk. That's part of why I ain't make my son a third. I'm like, go do your own thing in case I go crazy, something go crazy. You can pretend that you ain't related to me and you ain't got that pressure.
You can start over.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah, it's weird, man.
Mr. Crockett, so I heard back in the day you was didn't nobody want no smoke with you on the portable plywood, man. You was one of them ill dancers. You know what I'm saying? Coming out of North Click.
I still get down with it. You know what I mean?
Okay, but so I'm talking about the full range of motion, or you just a pop lock king or whatever, or you hit the footwork and you know.
Hey Leon, check my IG. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Who got you into dancing? Like, how did that passion start?
When you know, all the movies, Beat Street, Breaking, all that was inspiring to us. You know, it was a new thing, it was a craze. People were spinning on their backs, and we was like, me and my brother was like, yo, we want to do that. You know, so we self-taught. We watched Michael Jackson and later MC Hammer, and just really kept doing it.
Yo, I used to always say this. I never understood, like for me, whenever I saw somebody do a show where they was lip syncing over the music and dancing, I didn't respect them because I went to an MC Hammer concert and literally saw him rap all his lyrics after doing all them crazy moves he do. I was like, y'all not in shape. Y'all out of shape. MC Hammer over here eating KFC, popcorn, chicken, and Pepsis and blowing y'all out of the water. Get y'all lives together. Kev. Church, man, you talk a lot about church, man. You have a very unique introspective on Black churches, especially. Like, was one of your first sets in church, like, and that's why you kind of catered and went that way?
Yeah, my first stand-up comedy was at a church talent show. Like most R&B singers, that was my first performance, and
hilarious.
I think it was such a big part of my life that it's ingrained in the fabric of who I am. So. It's just, you know, it's all we did, literally all we did every day, all day for like the first 30 years of my life was go to church, especially the first 10 or 15. It was, you know, literally 5 times a week, you know, 3-4 times on Sunday. So I think that's just kind of how the world was framed for me. And it's going to always come out no matter what. Because, you know, we don't go to church physically as much during quarantine, but we still churchy. Amen.
Amen. Hey, man, real quick, did you ever say something in church that pissed anybody off? Like Joseph was the first baby daddy?
I actually have a joke about that. I've said that joke in church, and it doesn't always go over. Some people don't think any stuff like that is funny, but you gotta push them there, even if they're not ready to go.
Joseph stepped in and was a father to that child. Hey, man, we'll be right back, man. I got a stellar cast here on Later with Leon. We'll be right back with more, man. 3 legends on the panel. We'll be right back. Let's pay some bills. We're back Later with Leon. I got my man Roy Wood Jr. in the building, Affion Crockett in the building, and Kev on stage in the building, man. 3 talented individuals in here. So, Roy, you were talking before about your dad knowing Don Cornelius. Right? Or giving Don Cornelius his break on the radio. Did you at any point in time meet Don and like talk to him? Because I remember we had Alex Thomas on the show and he said he had a real close relationship with the members of Earth, Wind, and Fire because they were always around his family. Did you ever like get to meet Don, or you were too young then?
I met Don Cornelius one time, 2003. We did Star Search when Arsenio was hosting it. And Don Cornelius was one of the celebrity guests, just in the audience posted up. This is 2003. My pops passed in 95. And so my dad was one of the cats, you know, when Don Cornelius was first trying to get his bread together to shoot the pilot for Soul Train, my pops was one of the cats who shot Don Cornelius some bread. So when Don finally got the pilot straight, and, you know, he was trying to, like, you know, you seen the series on BET, his money was tight. So my pops come back to Don Cornelius, he go, hey, bro, I need my bread. And Don is like, just let me make you a producer. And my dad was like, nah, I want my money. Don't nobody want to watch black people dance. It's a stupid idea. Give me my bread. And so eventually Don Cornelius gave my pops back his bread. And it wasn't no drama. It was just my dad didn't want no part. My dad he in the movement. You ain't gonna convince him to a televised juke joint. My dad just wasn't built like that. He couldn't see it. So he missed out on all the Soul Train money. I saw Don Cornelius in 2003 backstage at Star Search, and I couldn't bring myself to speak to him and be like, hey man, I'm Roy Wood's son. Because I was scared Don Cornelius was gonna be like, get away from me. I ain't giving you none of my money.
Your daddy had a chance, he blew it.
That's what I thought he was gonna say, and we know he wouldn't have said that. But in my head, before you speak to a famous person, you go through all the ways it could go wrong before you do it.
True.
So
That's definitely true. Miss Crockett, Def Comedy Jam. Let's talk about it.
You ain't asked me about Don Cornelius. I was a soul train dancer.
You was?
Yo!
Wait, whoa.
Yo!
You ain't do your research.
Bro, you don't look that old to be a Soul Train dancer, bro.
Nobody knows how old Affion is. Nobody can prove. Affion was born in 1912.
Not from the 70s.
70 what? 8?
I was when Shamar Moore had on sleeveless blazers. You know what I'm saying? That when he was the host.
But Shamar was 55 then.
I was on the soulless train. But Don was still there. I knew Don. So you want to ask about Def Comedy Jam? Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to ask you about Def Comedy Jam because a lot of people saw you on that.
Right.
We didn't see you on Soul Train.
I
swear to God, you don't look old enough to be on Soul Train.
You can't pronounce my name, so you didn't see anything I did.
I know Mr. Crockett. And pronouncing your name ain't got nothing to do with it. Was on the Scrabble board. That's why I messed up.
Tomato.
All right. Here we go. That nice Barack. You was on HBO Def Comedy Jam. What's your favorite memory from that night?
Just being in a building with legends and knowing that I made the right choice with my life and career. Like everybody was in that building. Everybody. From Russell to Cedric, Jamie Foxx, Dave Chappelle, Chris Rock, Queen Latifah. Is everybody who was somebody in Black entertainment and hip hop was in the building. And I'm a fresh face out of North Carolina, Fayetteville, North Carolina. So that was like, all right, we on to something here.
What was the pressure like? Because Def Jam that crowd was unmerciful.
And it was the last season that it was in New York. So it's like the pressure was everything. You know, you ever feel like you want to doodle on yourself? That's what the pressure feel like. But you about to go out on stage in front of the toughest crowd ever and on national television. So that set can either make or break you.
2 free throws, you the freshman, University of Kentucky, you got to win the game. That was that pressure.
Yeah.
And the vets don't know you. They don't talk to you till after your set because they got to wait to see if you're funny.
Of course.
Yeah. J. Anthony Brown, all of them. They was all in that joint.
How old were you at the time, Affion?
Don't worry about all that. How old is your hairline right now?
Nobody can cross-reference Affion's life.
Wikipedia has it wrong too. Don't.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Hey, let's talk about the comedy grind because I kind of hate when people see you guys and see your success, and sometimes they label people like, "Oh man, Kev on stage blowing up, or Roy Wood Jr. is doing Affion's doing this." Like, what do you say to people that don't see the grind? Like, it ain't like y'all just started doing this stuff overnight, man. Y'all been putting in work for years. And how hard is it to not tell people like, look, man, I didn't just pop on IG, Kev on stage, and started doing these sketches and took off. This is years in the working.
You know, for me, it's blowing up is relative to when somebody found you. You know, if it's an overnight success, it's a long. Now, I don't really take it personally because I think most people just are saying, man, you new to me, and I'm excited. I want the best for you. Like, any of us could have a bigger moment and people will be like, man, this person blowing up. And Affion and Roy have plenty of credits already. Right. But, you know, it's kind of like the Grammy Best New Artist. Like, them people have been a new artist for 10, 15 years. But the Grammy's like, bro, ain't nobody know you like that. You know you just blew up for real. You know what I'm saying? But it's nobody's first year in music. And that's kind of how it is, you know, for me. If you look at people's Wikipedia pages, everybody's career be starting a long time before they blew up. They be doing stuff a long time. And to me, it all matters. All the stuff matters. All the little bit stuff, the small roles and the, you know, stuff you were working on, it all works together.
Yeah, you can't take offense to it. I mean, you know, we all knew Bernie Mac, and then Kings of Comedy hit, and he hit a whole nother demographic that was like, who's this Bernie guy? Yeah. Same thing, like even more recent, like Leslie Jones and SNL. Leslie been cooking for 20 years before Saturday Night Live. So it's just, you just keep grinding, because the thing to me is that the other issue in comedy is that no matter where you are, that elevation can change. So you best keep your humility and you best keep your hustle, because the same way somebody's discovering you, somebody can forget about you too.
Yeah.
So you just keep grinding. I'm thankful that something I started in '98 just to just to get by is something I'm able to pay bills with. So I'm just thankful, and you just keep working, man.
Yeah, Kev just asked me the other day, at what point did I feel like I'm killing it? I said I still don't. Like I don't rest on that laurel. I don't count my resume. I just keep inspired to keep creating new stuff. And the best advice I got was from Bernie Mac when I first started, and I opened up for him in Fayetteville, North Carolina. He said, "Take your time. Take your time. I've been doing this 25 years, and I'm just now getting noticed and getting my opportunity." He said, "Just take your time. Have fun with it."
Yeah. I think reason why it kind of rubs me a little the wrong way when I hear them say that about guys like yourself or guys like Deion Cole, Lil Rel.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like it's when white America sees us, then it's like, oh, they're blowing up. And I be wanting our people to be like, well, you should have seen this grind from this brother or this sister, like, comedians like Leslie, Big Les. You should have seen this grind all the time. Why now that they get thrown on the mainstream thing, you're like, oh, they doing it.
Well, I think a lot of times people like take Tiffany Haddish, for example. She was on stand-up. If you don't go to stand-up shows, you might not have known she was a stand-up comedian. If you didn't watch the Carmichael show, you might not have known she existed. And a lot of people saw Girls Trip. I mean, a whole bunch of people, but she was obviously funnier than that. Lil Rel, for example, I saw him on Bad Boys of Comedy, but it wasn't a huge show. I just love comedy, so I watched all that type of stuff. He was also on the Carmichael show, but most people didn't know about him till Get Out. Right. And I was like, oh yeah, Rel, everybody's finding out about you. But Rel been out. You know what I mean? So
an hour special before Get Out.
Relevant. Yeah, like I'm just saying. And that's I think that's why I'm just like, yo, these people been putting in the work, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like when Deion Cole got his break, with Conan. I'm just like, man, Deion been the dude pulling the notepad out and writing when a joke didn't go well or something like that. Like, so I guess that's how I kind of look at it. But I understand what you guys are saying, that it shouldn't stop your grind or hustle just because.
Now you asking a separate question. Now you asking the question that's rooted in, why don't black folks support us till white folks are running with us?
Okay.
And that's a whole nother game.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother game.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, since we going there, since I went there, what are some things would you like to see from our black audience as far as support for comedians on the lower level? Because, I feel like we get it, but not enough to the point where we pushing people to the front. But then when they give us the stamp, it's like, oh, okay, they're great now. I hate that, bro.
Well, I think the thing about it is a lot of times that stamp of approval from white America usually comes with a platform that most black people don't have access to that is big, right? Mm-hmm. So, you find out about, Affion or Roy, your local comedy club, or that small movie or whatever that thing is. But it's, we don't own ABC, NBC, Viacom, we got a small piece of the pie. So that big platform is usually the one that allows the majority of people to have access. Girls Trip is a movie that was in every theater. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, the Carmichael show was on, but everybody wasn't watching network TV. So if you're a fan of them or the people in that show, you're going to watch it. But if you're not, you might not know. It might not have even been marketed to you at all. Like, I used to really get mad at HBO. Like, why you don't market Game of Thrones to me? I'm your perfect candidate. I heard about it from other black people. They'd be like, man, shut up. Y'all ain't gonna watch this. You know what I'm saying? So that's what same thing that happens. It's usually black people writing for you, but we just don't have as big of a platform to immediately anoint someone like other platforms have.
Then why can't we? My next question, my follow-up would be then why can't we as a people have those platforms like Kev on Stage, for instance, what you're doing? Why can't we have a lot of people get behind Kev on Stage and what he's doing and create that and make that big? Or when Michael Rainey was kind of going at Timberland and Swiss Beats for selling the whole Versus thing.
Versus, yeah.
to Triller. Even though they got people paid, it's like, yo, you guys built that, hold on to it and keep it and let us make it big. So now we do have a big platform.
I honestly think, personally, I think the tide is changing on that. But, you know, I think Black people are, you know, we are finally getting some access to the resources to make networks, make our own shows and stuff like that. I think Black people always support each other. And I think you'll see moving forward, we'll have that opportunity because we're kind of getting away from white validation and all type of stuff like that.
I would say, to answer the question, 2 things Black people could do to support comedians, and especially even the generation, you know, that's coming after us. Number 1, go see them live if you can. Number 2, tell 5 friends about them.
Yep.
And just let that marinate. I think I would argue, you can correct me if I'm wrong, Leon, I would argue that maybe Kevin Hart and Issa Rae in like the last 10 to 15 years, or like the last 2 artists that bubbled from like a proper underground word of mouth. Like Kev, before he blew, he was going through them improvs off of email lists and off Soul Plane getting bootleg.
Hold that thought, Roy. Hold that thought. We'll come back. I'm gonna let you finish that thought when we come back from break. All right?
Yeah.
All right. Welcome back to Later with Leon. Roy, you were answering a question before we left. You were talking about how Issa Rae and Kevin Hart were probably like the last 2 African-American comics in the past couple of years to get that underground swell of promotion, which people knew who they were when they hit.
Yeah, I'm saying all Black and then boom, mainstream, versus all Black and then a mainstream and then boom.
And boom, right.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I just think that what we can do, you know, as Black people is just support other artists, and just when you see one, tell somebody about them, sling a retweet, throw up a mention. If something made you laugh, say that, let other people know. And I think that's the type of stuff that gets more people on board, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, we'll see.
Affion?
I think Kev on stage is the embodiment of not seeking the validation of the other side. Sometimes we just got to stop complaining as artists and just go get it and feed the people great entertainment and just do the work. You know what I mean? Sometimes we get discouraged when we put out one thing and then people didn't show up, and then you stop and then you get discouraged and you get bitter. You have to keep cranking out product. Maybe that product wasn't that good. I'm also like, I financed my own stand-up special, the one that Kevin licensed on LOL. I put up my own bread. I didn't wait for the big networks to come and offer me a deal so that they could own it all in perpetuity. I said, I'm going to show the world what I can do. You know, no one's giving me the deals. I'm not at the comedy festivals in Montreal and all of that. They don't know HBO. They don't know that I do stand-up. I know that I do stand-up. So figure it out, you know, and the audience, you know, of course, we want y'all support. We want y'all to buy those tickets. Come see us live, like Roy said. When we selling stuff, when we got movies, show up. Because the minute y'all, you know, you get on Black Twitter and you want to complain, oh, that movie wasn't this, and why don't they do more? Well, we don't do more because y'all didn't pay the ticket. You know, we're going to keep doing our thing, but you got to do your part too and spend with that dollar.
Because I think everybody's not able to, you know, to finance their own special or to create their own movie with a big budget. So sometimes they need to lean on the community to support them from the grassroots. But I do like the whole independent movement where, you know, let's just do it ourselves. Or like, I always encourage groups of comics, get together and do something collectively. You know what I'm saying? And build the money up. And then, you know, you all break off and do your own thing like Voltron, like form together and make it happen. You know what I'm saying? It's just that simple. Hey, listen, we talking about a lot of different things on the show. And one thing we like to talk about is white privilege, but we want to show you how white privilege can work for everybody. So my good friend, Jay Davis and the crew that writes here for Later with Leon, they came up with a nice little sketch to let you know that white privilege can work for everybody.
Now, the first quarter of this year, we sold 200,000 units.
Because of bust Berkman's about our full salary, bro.
What do you mean ours? Mine is kind of good.
What? What? No. We work at the same job. We work too freaking hard at that job. We get paid $0.
I just bought a new Lumina, man. It's a 97 Lumina with a sunroof. I just got that.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
I think you're nervous, and I think you need me to speak for you.
No.
Which I will do.
No, just speak for yourself. No, just speak for yourself.
Mr. Bergman, there's something that I gotta get off my chest.
Matthew, I'm right in the middle of the presentation. Couldn't this wait?
No, it can't wait, Larry. Jerome and I have been busting our at this job for the past 3 days.
No, not Jerome, just him.
And according to jobsalaries.com, the average salary of somebody who works our position is $5,000 more than we're actually getting paid.
Matthew,
It's not weed.
your performance review is up in 2 weeks. We can talk about it then.
Larry,
Come on, man.
Jerome and I have been rocking out with our we gotta get a raise!
Come on,
We
man.
gotta get a raise! I want a raise!
Matthew, you and Jerome had better calm down.
Oh, I need to calm down.
Both of us calm down.
Either us a pay increase,
No.
or we're gonna walk.
No. I just gotta calm down.
Now, Matthew, you've made a very valid point. And you know we treasure your and Jerome's input to our little team here. Effective tomorrow, you both get that raise. Will that work for you?
You bet your wrinkly that works for me. And now, I'm gonna go take a and after that, I'm gonna get some lunch, all right? I'll be back at 2 p.m. Jerome, we did it. Nice.
I guess we did do it, Larry. I can call you Larry, right?
Sure.
All right, Larry. I'll be back at 2. Gonna get my Lumina tuned up.
White privilege. Sometimes it works for others.
I'm mad all that was for a 97 Lumina.
The funniest thing about that is my first car that I ever bought was a Lumina. I didn't think nobody else knew what that was.
Oh no, Chevy got brothers with the Lumina. When it first came out, they was like, "Ooh, you put the spoiler on the back, you doing it."
Oh snap!
Lumina.
Luminas
People
and
who couldn't afford a
Oldsmobile.
Beretta.
Yeah, Lumina. It was the low end Beretta. Luminas and Oldsmobile Auroras.
Yo,
In 93 and 96, that was the black man's whip.
Oh snap!
Hey, see, you do a lot of impressions, man. I gotta ask you, because there's a brother that I know out here by the name of Reginald Muhammad. He does impressions too. And he practices
from Bad Boys of Comedy.
yeah.
Oh
Yeah. So he's practicing all the time and he be doing stuff. And sometimes he'll be talking to us. We'll be talking about the Bulls, and he's like being Denzel. And I'll be like, yo, Reg, you cool? You all right, bro? Like, I'm gonna need you to come back. I need Reg. Do you ever, like when you're rehearsing and stuff, do you ever get into it so much that sometimes when you have a regular conversation, you might find yourself slipping into a character and you're not doing it intentionally? It's just that you've been trying to iron out these impressions so much.
Never.
No. You can control the demons.
Yeah, when I shut it off, I shut it off. When I say cut, it's a wrap. I'm back to me.
Like you've never been in a bank and been Jay-Z.
Never. That
is
sounds
hilarious.
like a bad premise.
No.
but how do you practice then? Do you just walk around the house pretending to be Jay-Z, just
Right.
doing laundry?
I mean, when I'm getting ready for something, then yeah, I'm gonna be. It's time to practice. It's time to, But we're not doing stand up all the time either. Like, how do we get our hours together? Unless when you go to do open mic, you go do open mic. It's the time and a place for it. But you're not sitting down at the table. Well, some comedians do. They're sitting down at the table with everybody. They're testing material, and they think we don't know. But no, I'm not a test your material on people randomly kind of guy. I focus on it when it's time to do it.
Leon, you had one on the low though, bro. You had an impression. I don't remember what year Comic View, and I tried to find it because I tried to show it to somebody. When you did the impression, and it's a voiceless impression, which to me I love. You did an impersonation of Michael Jordan coming out during pregame introductions, and all you did was walk like Jordan with the bad knees, and then put your hands on your knees and just look around and just smack your lips. Gold.
That was one of those jokes though that like I was upset when Mike retired because I had to retire the joke. Like he ain't playing no more. So it's like unless I find a way to bring it back. I just was like, I gotta leave it alone. But true story, one of his bodyguards cuffed me in the club one day, like grabbed me, like on some physical shit, like, come here, man. And I'm like, yo, hold on, fam. What y'all know? He's like, somebody want to see you. Yo, man, he took me over in front of the GOAT, and he was like, so I heard he took a cigar out of his mouth. He was sitting with Antoine Walker. I ain't gonna never forget. He said, so I heard you be imitating me. And I was like, yeah. Yeah, I be imitating you. He was like, hey, man, is it funny? He asked his bodyguard. His bodyguard named Wolf. Shout out to my man Wolf. Wolf was like, hell yeah, it's funny than a motherfucker, OG. I'm sorry. And he goes, well, put him on the influencer list. I was like, thank you. That lasted for 2 years. The influencer list lasted for 2 years. And he's like, all right, take him off. That was just for club purposes to make him feel good. You're not gonna get free gym shoes from me forever. Hey, what was one of the worst times in you all's career? Like if we go back and you rehearse your comedy bits. Like there's a comedy club that I could never beat. I bombed at it 3 times straight. And then on the 5th week when I came back, I took a week off. It turned into a strip club. So I had a permanent scar on my comedy face. You guys ever had something that terrible?
Uptown in Atlanta, the old one that used to be in Buckhead.
Nard Hosting used to host on Sunday nights.
Yes, sir. And so this was even, I think Nard and Earthquake, this is 98, 99 money back then. And so I used to take the Greyhound up from Tallahassee because Atlanta was the only city in the South that had open mic every week. Every other city in the South, other than Tampa, open mic was once a month. So if you wanted to get up every week, you go to the A, you do Sunday night at Uptown, you do Monday night at Punchline over there with the white folks. I would take this. I remember this because Puffy had the restaurant Justin's in the same little parking plaza right with Uptown. And so I would get booed, and then I would go to Justin's, get an $8 water, and then take the MARTA back to the Greyhound station and cry my butt all the way back to Tallahassee.
Wow.
Pain. Every Sunday.
You on the set, upset.
Yeah, but it was dope though, because I ain't living the A. So I get booed. I don't know y'all. I'll be back next week. I ain't got to see y'all in the streets. It's easy to get booed when you don't live there. The booing hurt when you live in the city. It hurt more.
Yeah, what about you, bro?
What was the question?
What's like one of the worst times of your comedy career, like a bomb or something that you had?
Oh, 559. That's bomb central.
Ooh, Bruce. Yo, they used to have dice games, pit bull fights going on in that spot while you was trying to do comedy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they booed my intro. They booed my outfit. I when I grabbed the mic, they booed that. They was like, man, you don't get any, you know, and all the cuss words after that.
You got scared like that. Hey man, who this here, man? Get him off stage. Goddamn, man. Hey man, goddamn, he got your eye here, man. So they ain't with it, man. He ain't here, man.
Yeah, they wasn't with it.
Wow.
They was not with it.
Kev, you ever had something like that happen to you? I mean, everybody bombed.
I bombed at the Bay Area Black Comedy Competition.
Oh.
I had a joke at the time, was undefeated. Literally, I did it every week in Tacoma. It required me to take my shirt off. I poured water on myself. When I tell you, they did not think that was funny in Oakland. And boy, I would tell you, that water was so cold. When it is quiet, I walked out of there and I was like, you know, the Spike Lee part of the movie where they just slow. For 5 minutes, my feet weren't even moving. The bomb carried me 5 miles down the street. Bro, it was the worst. And I had to book the ticket for the whole weekend. And I knew I was out the first night, and I had to sit up there and take the rest of those comics all weekend. It was tough.
So as a comic, I feel your pain, but I think the funniest part of that story is I would want to know, how did you go back putting your shirt on?
I took it off stage. I just left off stage, cold and wet. I was, bro, it had never, not only not worked, it killed every time.
That's the embarrassing part. Like if you doing this, you put your shirt back up.
Man, I took a hot L to the face.
That's hilarious. Talk about branding, Kev. How do you manage to? Because I've literally seen some of your posts where you kind of like ridicule your followers. You be like, I could post it all the time, but if y'all ain't gonna come watch it, like, how do you keep your brand popping and increase your brand like you do? Is there a set algorithm to it, or you just there's nothing to
honestly,
figure out?
Man, the only thing I really harp on is being completely authentic. I think people can smell a mile away when you're trying hard. Like the days of being a manufactured, star back in some lab or the industry, people on social media, people can smell that a mile away. So when I take an L, I talk about it. When I take a win, I talk about it. When I'm excited, I'm excited, All
right, man. Let's go to break. We'll be right back. More three talented individuals right here on Later with Leon. We'll be right back, man, with the talented trio coming up. We're back later with Leon. With me tonight, I got Kevin on stage, Roy Wood Jr. and Affion Crockett. Affion, let's talk about versus, man. They just had Ghost and Ray, and you and my man Spice Adams. Shout out to Spice Adams, former Chicago Bear, Penn State alum, wild boy, internet goat. You guys seem to come on right after each versus and just nail it. And I'm not just talking about mannerisms. How y'all had an outfit, son? Like who closet is that big where y'all got the clothes that y'all literally be looking like the people that you imitate?
Hey man, I work hard in life. I have a lot of closets now, and I've accumulated over the years, Leon. And just so happened that when they on screen, I'm like, got that one. I did 3 whole outfits this last versus. I did two of Ghost because he did a Diana Ross.
Yes, threw the fur on.
2 of Ghost outfits, and I played RZA too. So and Spice is the same way. He got a whole lot of outfits.
Yo, Spice got a lot of BS in this closet though, because he be going like when y'all did the Teddy Riley joint, I was like, yo, he went into 1989. In his closet. I'm like, and that's not costumes. I say, you wear that, Spice. Them your clothes. I got a problem with that. Them are your clothes. Listen, man, so the whole versus thing, what made you all come up with that? It was just something you guys connected on, or you just started vibing with them and y'all said, let's hook up and do it each time they do a set?
When Teddy and Babyface had that debacle, when Teddy just messed up the whole verses for everybody and had to come back 3 days later, me and Spice was watching that night and we didn't even know each other. Like we were fans of each other from afar. We had never met, but we randomly reached out to each other like, yo, should we go live and imitate this? And we was like, bet, let's do it. And literally the night of they had to cancel and come back 3 days later, we just went on and we had the outfits. And it was the rest is history, literally. Like we just started doing it after every one. We had nothing else to do. We was in a pandemic.
That's right. I feel you, bro. That's dope. We got to run out pace. We'll do some more commercials real quick. When we come back, I'm gonna ask Affion what's his favorite voice to do. More on Later with Leon coming up. Let's take a quick break. Welcome back to Later with Leon. I'm your host, the Destin Legend Leon Rogers, 107.5 WGCI. Remember, if you like the show, watch us on YouTube, FOXSOUL TV, man. Click that subscribe button, click that like button. I was talking to Affion Crockett before we left about the Versus TV, but I want to get back to your voices, man. What's your favorite voice to do and why?
I honestly don't have a favorite one.
Really?
Some come easier than others, but I don't have a favorite one. People have requests of their favorite, like a Jay-Z or a now Maya Angelou, believe it or not. But yeah. Yeah, I don't have a favorite. I just, Chris Rock used to be a popular one that people like to see. So
how did you get into doing voices? Is it just something that came, you just started mimicking people, it just came naturally, and then you just started working on different people?
Yeah, when I was a kid, I would my mom is from Trinidad and Tobago, so I would imitate my grandmother, my auntie, my mom, and their Trini accent, and then movies like Scarface, when I saw different people with distinct voices, around the house as a kid, I could just mimic them because I used to play music by ear. So everything I could hear, I could kind of regurgitate. So that's how it started for me.
Keyboards? When you say you play music?
Keyboard.
Oh, so you can sit at a party and sing panties off women?
No, I can't do that.
Don't do that?
No. That's when I was a kid, I used to play by ear, but I stopped playing a long time ago.
What you got coming up, bro? What can the people
developing more TV, film, scripts, more stand-up, of course. Now that I got the structure for how to finance my own joint, I know the business model, so I'm gonna definitely be doing more of that. I'm trying to be like Kev on stage. I just want to create product and get subscribers to pay monthly and weekly.
I see that 1200 back there on that shelf, man. You get down on the ones and twos?
No, it's just a hobby of mine to play music. I am not a DJ. That's the one pillar of hip hop that I'm not fully versed in, but you know, I like a little something.
Okay, so you could go mess up a train though. You get your little graffiti on?
I do a little graph.
Okay. All right. Look at you out here. You know what I'm saying?
Every now and then.
With the elements, son. Roy, what you got coming up, man?
I'm not finna confess to no felonies, so you're not finna be asking me if I spray paint. I ain't got nothing going on. How about that?
He said he doing a little something. He didn't say where. He didn't say where.
You know, man, I'm just blessed to be working in a pandemic, man. So shout out to Trevor Noah for keeping the lights on at the Daily Show. And also pushing a new podcast that I'm doing that people can download. It's called Roy's Job Fair. And we just talk to folks about their best jobs, their worst jobs, and we connect people with, you know, job placement, you know, and try and get people employed out here.
That's dope. You just had my little brother Dave Hellum on that. Was hilarious, dude.
Hellum is a 100 dude, man. That's a 100 dude, man. Matter of fact, I'm gonna shout out his comedy special that just dropped. DJ the Chicago Kid. So hit the Googles on that and go check out the homie Dave, man.
Kev, you got a lot going on, man. How do you balance it all? You're a father, your sons even have YouTube pages. You got a podcast with your wife, and you're still controlling a multi-million-dollar empire. How do you have time to do it all, man?
I don't. I drop the ball all the time. I was supposed to be doing this at my studio, but it didn't work out. Balance is a myth. If you're doing great at one thing, you probably are failing at another. What I try to do is give everything its just due. So play video games with my son, watch, you know, Marvel on Friday nights. We pretty much watch Marvel, whatever's on Disney Plus. Make sweet love to my wife, you know, when it's her turn. And the rest of the time, I'm shooting or chilling. You know, honestly, I've had more success over the last year or so by only focusing on a couple of things. So right now it's just stand-up comedy, as always, and the Kev on Stage Studios app, and then basically doing stuff to promote both of those. But I let a lot of things go because I felt like I was just doing a whole bunch of stuff and chasing my own tail. And I've been more fulfilled doing a couple of things well than trying to do everything.
Yo, we got to tip the hat to Kev on Stage also, man, because Kev on Stage, Leon, then had this whole live show going during the pandemic and been giving other comedians exposure.
Listen,
during the pandemic.
You just had M. Brown, who was in that sketch.
M. Brown? You've had
M. Brown. Rock.
My favorites that you've had M. Brown on. You have my girl Corey Bell.
Yeah.
Corey Boy Bell. So these are a lot of people I rock with. You had Smokey on. So I've been peeping it, man, and it's a blessing when brothers share their platform.
OGs and New Jacks. That brother passed the ball, man.
Hey, 30 seconds real quick from everybody. We'll start with you first, Kevin. I'm gonna end with Affion. Coming to America. Real quick, your thoughts. Give me a quick grade.
You started with me. Coming to America was a fantastic film. Coming to America 2 was a fantastic homage to Coming to America.
I like what you did there. Roy.
I'm probably in the same spot. I wish they could have made it R-rated. I feel like that's the disconnect, is that the first one was R and the second one wasn't. So I think that's why people like. Yeah, it's like it's funny, but there's some seasoning. What's missing is the cussing.
Yeah, I'm going with Kev on Stage's answer. I love the first one. My favorite movie of all time. Part 2 was a great homage to the first one.
And I do want to say Leslie Jones was absolutely hilarious Coming to America. I loved everything she did.
Kev, Roy, Affion, I appreciate you all for taking time to stop by my little platform and hang out with me, man. Love y'all brothers. Want to stand tuned. Make sure you follow me at Leon Rogers, Lady with Leon. Go get your Negro League clothing. Consciousness is cool. Right here, I'm representing the University of the Fighting Zulus. We changed it. They ain't Fighting Atlanta no more. It's the Fighting Zulus, man. So check us out, man. Up next, my homegirl, Tammy Mack. She's going to hold it down. God bless y'all, man. If you see something bad in these streets, please say something, all right? Happy birthday to my main man, Happy out of Chicago. Got to show that love, man. Peace. We go.